From the Queen City, Cincinnati, Ohio, along the banks of the Ohio River, it's the Pittsburgh Pirates against the Cincinnati Reds in this brief two-game series and the abbreviated six-game road trip. The Buccos look for the sweep in this mini-series. Greg Brown along with Bob Walk, and the amazing transformation of Charlie Morton continues. Let's get right to the PNC achievement, Bob. What a performance by Charlie Morton last night for the achiever in you.
Well, he certainly has changed his style of pitching. He used to be trying to strike everybody out, throwing everything but the kitchen sink at every hitter that went up there. Now he's going with that two-seamer, just throwing sinkers, and it was a fabulous sinker last night. Not only did he get ground balls on pitches that were down around the knees, his sinker was so good, so much movement. He actually got ground balls on pitches that were up around the letters last night. Just an awesome game.
Let's take a look at what he did in his first 8 starts last year compared to this season. 1-7, 968 earned run average in 2010, 5-1, an ERA of 2.62. We're really talking about two different pitchers, aren't we?
Oh, exactly, Greg. And I really think they're the pitches per batter. See how they have really got cut down from almost 4 to 3.5. That's the reason I think the other numbers, other stats are so good, is he's not worried about throwing everything up there to everybody that walks up there. He's going after him aggressively with that sinker, getting a lot of quick outs.
James McDonald on the hill this afternoon in the concluding game of this series. Friday against the Brewers, the loss, 5 earned runs in 4 innings. And against the Reds in mid-April, he gave up 7 runs, 6 earned in 4 1/3 innings.
The key for me is he's got to have control of that curveball.
Johnny Cueto will be on the mound for the Cincinnati Reds against James McDonald. He has been outstanding in his 2 starts since coming off the disabled list. He's 9-2 lifetime against the Pittsburgh Pirates. It's the Buccos and the Redlegs with J-Mac on the hill for Pittsburgh. Your turn to root in Cincinnati is coming up next.
Comfortable here. I mean, I've been here a few times now. I mean, maybe that's it. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's a good team. So, I mean, it shows that we can hang in there with everybody. So it's just just a matter of doing it more often than not.
Charlie Morton talking last night about his shutout and his second complete game of the season, both coming against the Cincinnati Reds here at Great American Ballpark.
Well, Greg, anytime a team goes up against another team in a series, the hitters, they want to know, who the pitchers are, because there's always one guy on every club that nobody wants to face. Charlie is, I think, becoming that guy on the Pirates, that the other hitters on the other side, they want to know what nights he's pitching, that they don't want to go up against him.
The last time a Pirates team could say that.
It's been a while. It really has. But I know the opposition hitters are not having comfortable at-bats against Charlie Morton.
Johnny Cueto on the hill for the Cincinnati Reds. Let's check out the Toyota lineup. Toyota moving forward. Andrew McCutchen for the Bucs leads off. Then it's Xavier Paul. Jose Tabata gets the day off. Garrett Jones in right. Neil Walker hits cleanup. Lyle Overbay, left-hand hitting first baseman. Ryan Domet, switch-hitting catcher, bats sixth. Pedro Alvarez, who homered last night, bats seventh. And the red-hot Ronnie Cedeno and James McDonald for Pittsburgh.
Take a look at Cueto's numbers. Just a couple of starts, but they've been fantastic. He's given up nothing. And it's not like he's going out there and just throwing 5 innings in those first couple of starts. Been going deep in the ball game. He has pitched outstanding, and he is always tough on us. Excellent changeup.
Check out Bob's Tips to Win, brought to you by the Rivers Casino.
Well, show some patience with that Cueto changeup. Try to make him get it up. Lay off it when he keeps it down. To win in this ballpark, got to hit home runs. So we did that last night. Got to do that again today. Get it over the fence. And McDonald, swing and misses. He's got to get strikeouts. That's the type of pitcher he is.
First pitch strike, fastball to McCutchen. 1 for 5 last night, his 8th home run of the season. A blast over the left field wall. 423 feet the distance. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. McCutchen's average 241. 273 lifetime against Cueto. And that includes 3 homers. 6 hits and 22 at bats against Cueto. There are the numbers. 2-1, third baseman Cairo playing back. Tap foul that way. Pirates were up 3-0 when he came to the plate in the 7th inning, 1 out. Man on third. Bronson Arroyo, who gave up the home run to Alvarez in the 4th, just can watch, see how far that one traveled.
Hey, the only question when that left the bat was it going to be in that second deck on the left field bleachers. I'm sure that he was just looking to get a ball in the air, get that run home. Got it well in the air.
3-2 now on McCutchen. High ball toward right center. And center fielder Heisey hits it away. Heisey in center field. Drew Stubbs gets the day off. He's flanked by Fred Lewis in left, Jay Bruce in right. Miguel Cairo, Edgar Renteria, veterans on the left side of the infield. Brandon Phillips, Gold Glover at second. Joey Votto at first. Ramon Hernandez behind the plate for Cueto. Xavier Paul, batting average of 256 combined with Pittsburgh and the Dodgers.
Like he took a little peek down there at Cairo just before that first pitch, trying to see where the third baseman was.
It was interesting to see Cairo deep with McCutchen. Again, the scouting report obviously is that McCutchen is not a threat to bunt, and that's one thing that Clint Hurdle has talked about. You have to at least be a threat, especially as a leadoff hitter. But Cairo was playing deep the whole time with McCutchen.
As soon as Paul got up there, he got a couple of steps in on the grass. Paul, he was checking him out just to make sure he came in. Probably noticed how deep he was playing on McCutchen and had decided, well, if he's going to stay back there with me, I'm going to drop it down.
In the air to left, coming in Lewis. 2 fly ball outs to start this ball game. Check out the umpiring crew for today's contest. Scott Berry behind the plate. Sam Holbrook at first. Crew chief is John Hirschbeck. He's at second, and Las Diaz at third. Here's Garrett Jones, 1 out of 4 last night. .250 on the year with 6 home runs, 13 ribbies.
Garrett's somebody that we could look to try and get a ball over the fence this afternoon. I think we can get one of those change-ups left upstairs.
Fastball in, 1-1. Back the fastball out of play. 5 of his 6 home runs have come on the road. Cueto strikes him out. 1, 2, 3 go the Buccos. And James McDonald will take the hill as the Reds come to bat in the bottom of the first.
Definitely worth the click. Let's go Bucks. Ball on Root Sports is sponsored by Barrel Automotive. Barrel.com. Definitely worth the click. Let's go Bucks.
Head to the bottom half of the first inning. Dusty Baker, his club 25-18, 15-10 here at home. Here is his lineup. Chris Heisey leading off, and Edgar Renteria at short with Joey Votto batting third. Brandon Phillips clean up. G. Bruce back in the lineup. Was out yesterday, wasn't feeling well. He's in right. Miguel Cairo at third. Bottom third of the order, Fred Lewis, Ramon Hernandez, Johnny Cueto. Chris Heisey takes a strike. Heisey came on part of a double switch last night and singled in his only at bat in the 8th inning. Batting .271 on the year. Another strike, same exact spot, outside corner.
A little paint away. The control is very important to James, even though he does throw pretty hard. Got that real good over the top tight curveball. There it is. It's still important for him to show him that he'll throw that curveball for a strike. And if they can just discount the curveball, then the fastball becomes much easier for him to just sit back and cheat a little bit too to get. And I think that's what was happening early in the year, because he had such a short spring training due to injury. He came out slow control wise.
Still 2-2.
The month of April, he only had 15 strikeouts and 16 walks. Here in May, in just 3 starts, 20 strikeouts and 6 walks. Go along with the numbers you're looking at, and to me, that's a great sign I think he has to get the swings and misses to really be an effective pitcher. That's the style he is.
Tried to get one there. Heisey able to check it on the appeal. Holbrook said he didn't offer.
And Greg, I think you'll agree, when he came over last year, that was one of the first things we noticed, that he had a swing and miss type stuff. So impressive about it.
Still 3-2 off the fastball. And he came over from the Dodgers. Pirates sent Octavio Dotel to LA. They also got minor league outfielder Andrew Lambeau, who's playing at AAA Indy. And McDonald went 4-5 in his 11 Pirate starts. Ball popped up to shallow right, long run, and it drops. Pop up, it falls in for a hit.
Thought for a moment there that Jones might take a shot at maybe sliding underneath that ball. So the ball got in right off the label, didn't travel any distance. It didn't look like Jones was getting ready to slide underneath it.
Sure
I don't
like
know
he was
if
thinking about it,
if he thought maybe Walker was closer than he was. Unless you slide and kick that ball somewhere, there's not a lot of bad stuff that's going to happen, because Walker is there to pick the ball up if you don't make the catch. There's Neal. He shouldn't have had any influence on whether Jones went after that or not.
Heisey 2 for 2 in stolen base attempts. Strike on the veteran Edgar Renteria. Now 35 years old. He looks down at the third base coach for the Reds, Mark Berry. Willie Hatcher coaches first.
Renteria's played for some very successful teams in his career. Another one here this year with the Reds. Some guys just have that knack of always being on the winners. Renteria, one of those guys.
One ball, one strike on Renteria, who was the MVP of the World Series with the Giants last year.
Obviously, it's a two-way street, too. He's helped some of those winners. Helped them along. Win some championships. Pretty solid player.
McDonald falls behind him 2-1. Hit a home run to Renteria off Cliff Lee and clinching Game 5 last year in the Fall Classic. Snapped a scoreless tie in that game in the 7th inning. Giants went on to win it 3-1.
So Renteria that had the game-winning RBI in the year when Marlins won the World Series.
1997, the RBI single against the Cleveland Indians and Charles Nagy in the bottom of the 11th. I guess baseball world probably had a good indication that this guy would be pretty clutch. Throughout his career, that's been the case. The Marlins, Cardinals, Red Sox, Braves, Tigers, Giants, runner goes. It's out of play as he took off on the 2-2 pitch.
Ball only ended up about 4 rows deep.
Domick didn't know exactly where it was at first. Yeah, he got a late break.
It's going to be one of those tough skies today, because there's clouds up there, but the sun's trying to peek through, and very bright. You look up into bright gray haze. You could see somebody losing a ball if they took their eyes off it, ran to a spot, looked back up. Might not be easy to find.
Again, the runner goes, and another foul ball.
Nice jump coming off the bag. Tough one to throw him out.
Clint Hurdle believes that the Pirates have done a better job in containing the opposition running game pitchers have been able to do. Certainly compared to last season, where opponents took liberties against the Pirates, seemed like every night.
The most important thing the pitcher can do is you vary your deliveries. Sometimes you go quick, sometimes you hold the ball for a while, then go. And, you know, no big leg kicks. Get the ball to the catcher as fast as you can. And that'll go a long ways to cut down the running game.
It's toward the gap in right center field. Oh, a diving catch by McCutchen. This will be a double play. Heisey didn't think there was a chance. But McCutchen with a fabulous play in right center field. It's a double play.
You know, it doesn't matter if you don't think there's a chance or not. You can't put your head down and head to third base like there's 2 outs. Yeah, obviously there was a chance. He's got great speed. Closed on the gap. Heisey's not even in view. His head was down, and he was halfway to third base.
Boy, talk about a catch-22. Most assists in the National League. McCutchen with 5. Double play.
Well, McCutchen out there, you have to be a little bit more careful about making those kind of decisions, because there's not much he's not going to at least get to and have an opportunity to make a play on the ball.
2-1 on Votto.
And there was nobody out. You take yourself out of an inning making that kind of an assumption.
Now McDonald falls behind Votto 3-1 after a fabulous catch by McCutchen in right center, turning what looked like was going to be extra bases for Renteria into a double play. And Votto draws the walk, leads the league in that department.
I think added to the degree of difficulty. This ball was slicing away from him. It wasn't like it was coming back to him, giving him a chance. As the ball was traveling out there, the degree of difficulty was getting more and more. Heisey just right there where he turns around, he is halfway to third base, and he knows, okay, it's all right. I got no chance. But he had plenty of time just to run down to second, wait to see what happened. If it's caught, go back to first. If it's not, go to third. Actually, if it's not, it goes to the wall, he can score easily.
Ball 1 on Brandon Phillips, 7th in the league in hitting. Votto 3rd in the league.
There's always, you know, a handful of moments in a ball game that the game turns on. We may have seen the first one that the Reds could have had a very big inning. Of course, it's not over yet. And McDonald's having a hard time finding home plate right now, but still.
Searage out to talk to him early.
The big innings, the crooked numbers, those are the one innings that make the defense and or make the difference in wins and losses. Base running could have just taken them out of a bit.
21 pitches thrown already, facing Brandon Phillips here. Nine-game hitting streak for Phillips.
That's another part of the story. If James gets out of this rather quickly, he's going to be, say, 23, 24 pitches in. And he could have been looking at about a 30 or 35 pitch inning. It's not only just the runs maybe they missed out on, it's making McDonald throw another dozen pitches in the first inning.
2-0 the count on Phillips. One for 4 last night. See what he's doing during the hitting streak, batting .400. Two-one count with Votto at first. James McDonald, 26 years old, native of Long Beach, California. Was the 11th round pick of the Dodgers in 2002. Up and down, big leagues, minor leagues, previous 3 seasons.
Had an odd start to his professional career. Started out in low minors as a pitcher, and then they made him an outfielder for about a season and a half, and then he hit his way back to the pitching mound.
Donald's 24 starts, 11 and 14, 4.37 career ERA.
I asked him about how unusual that was. You see guys make a position change in the minor leagues, usually not 2, going into a regular and then back to a pitcher after being a pitcher originally. And he said that first year they just told him that he was too skinny and too frail. They didn't think he would hold up as a pitcher. So they wanted to make him an outfielder. He could run a little bit, had some speed.
Just couldn't hit.
Yep. Like I said, he hit his way back to the mound.
Near the seats and out of play. Remains 2-2 on Phillips. 5 home runs, 26 RBIs on the season. McDonald's last start against the Brewers. 5 runs in 4 innings on 6 hits. This is his second go-around against the Reds. Gave up 7 runs, 6 of them earned in 4 1/3 innings on April the 16th. Another fly ball. This time easy for Jones for the final out. 27-pitch inning, and highlighted by the catch, number 22, Andrew McCutchen. 0-0. This is an injury update around the league. Some key injuries. Matt Holliday and Lance Berkman both left last night's game early. Berkman with a right wrist injury, trying to make a catch in right field. Matt Holliday left with tightness in the quad. Derek Lee did not play with a left oblique injury for the Orioles, and Brian Roberts didn't play because of headaches. Neil Walker leads off the second inning for the Pirates. Our injury update thanks to our friends at Allegheny General Hospital Sports Medicine, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Walker 1 for 3 with a walk, scored a run last night. He's 1 for 10 lifetime against Cueto. One ball, 2 strikes. Batting left-handed.
Cueto certainly is doing a good job using his fastball so far, both sides of the plate. Not really going too much to that changeup to this point.
Makes you wonder if he's not keeping that in his back pocket then, huh?
If he keeps throwing the ball inside, especially the changeups, you see the strike zone presented by Range Resources. I think that was the changeup there, didn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of look like it. But you know, if you throw hard stuff in, guys have to make an adjustment, and one of those adjustments is to kind of get off the off-speed stuff. It'll make that changeup much more effective. It's a great pitch as it is.
Missed away with a fastball. He retired the side in order in the first, and leadoff walk. Johnny Cueto has been really unbeatable against the Pirates. His 9 wins in 13 starts against the Bucks. Best totals against any opponent in his last 9 starts against Pittsburgh. 7-0 and a 174 earned run average. Bucks have not been able to beat Johnny Cueto. Started this season on the disabled list. Overbay checks the fastball in. A couple of hits last night. This is away, 2-0.
He's doing a good job at moving in and out with that fastball, but first 2 hitters, he's messing with it. Around Overbay, inside a little bit for a ball, and away for a ball.
To another count. Two and one. Cueto went 12-7 last year with a 3.64 ERA. 186 innings, walked 56.
Now that time he left the changeup upstairs a little bit, but Overbay was just a little too quick after seeing those 2 fastballs and being in the driver's seat. 2-0.
Now he has fallen behind 3-1.
But Cueto with that changeup can use you being in the driver's seat to his advantage. If you get aggressive with him and think, okay, it's 2-0, 3-1, I'm going to charge fastball a little bit, that's when his changeup can be the most effective.
Broken bat roller foul to the left. 3-2.
And it looked to me like, at least in the back of Overbay's mind there, he thought he was going to get that 3-1 changeup. He got a fastball instead and was just a little late to pull the trigger on it. He ended up getting it off the end of the bat. But fastball a little away.
Goes 3-2, pulled foul. Stays 3-2. Walker off on the pitch.
Clint is confident in Overbay's ability to get this ball put in place somewhere. So he's starting Walker, knowing he'll be protected. It's a ground ball, hopefully staying out of a double play.
And a base hit to center. Walker took a big turn, held on. First and second. So the Pirates have 1 hit through the first 5 batters. That's significant when you talk about Johnny Cueto. If you think back to what he did May 11th at PNC Park last season. A 1-hitter. The only hit off Ronnie Cedeno in the 3rd inning. Also hit Cedeno with a pitch to start the 6th. But he retired the last 11 batters, became the first Reds pitcher to throw a 1-hitter since John Smiley did it back in 1996. First and second, and Domit at the plate. Domit, the switch hitting catcher, bats from the left side. Takes ball 1. I asked Clint Hurdle before the game, Bob, about left-handers against a good changeup, and he basically said it doesn't matter if you got a great changeup whether you're left-hand hitter or right-hand hitter.
I think that's kind of the test a lot of times, Greg, for how good is a guy's changeup. If he can use it against both lefties and righties and it's effective, then I think it's a better than average changeup. If you're only comfortable throwing your changeup against hitters that hit from the offside that you throw from, then your changeup's probably not all that great anyway. But normally, yes, you know, a changeup with a right-hand pitcher against a left-hand hitter, that's a weapon that's usually pretty effective, especially if it's got a little fade down and away. Some kind of an off-speed pitch that's not always coming into him.
Pitching coach for the Reds, Brian Price, checking in with Cueto.
I think he wants to make sure Cueto is okay, and also maybe remind him to try and be a little more aggressive early in the count here. Have problems falling behind.
Fastball for a strike to Doman.
Cueto's got a fastball with a little bit of a tail on it. He starts it off the plate and it comes back and just catches the edge.
Hit in the air to left, pretty deep. Lewis back, nearing the wall, makes the catch. Walker will tag and move to third. Heads up from Walker, moving to third. He's there now with one out, and here's Pedro Alvarez. Fourth inning last night with 2 on and 1 out. 3-run homer. His first home run since April 21st in Miami against the Marlins.
It's good to see. It's important to get his bat going. Not just base hits, but home runs. It was important there for Overbay to get to second base, too. I don't know what happened.
He didn't.
He was tagging up just like Walker was. The guy in front of you tags, you tag. Throw went to third, and he didn't go. They still have the double play in order now. And when the play was over, he and Luis Severio, the first base coach, had a little conversation about the whole situation.
Ball one strike. Overbay not tagging. Still at first, and as Bob said, the double play still very much in order.
He did go back and tag, though.
And not move. And it's 1-2.
Yeah, if he would have gone down, say, 3/4 of the way to second base, and if the catch ran back, then okay, I can understand that. But when Walker tagged, he ran back to first to tag also, and then after that, all you're doing is reading the throw, making sure it's going to go to third, not second.
One ball, 2 strike count. Does Cueto pull out the good changeup here?
Put down a 3, didn't he?
Yep.
Tried to get him to swing over the top of that slider.
Cueto signed out of the Dominican as a free agent in 2004.
Same pitch.
3-2.
Tried to bring that up a little bit. See if he can entice a swing. No luck there.
Full count.
Change up here, Greg?
I don't know when are you going to throw it if you don't throw it in this sequence? I don't get it. You get such a great changeup.
Let's go back door this time with the slider.
Wow.
I don't understand it either. He didn't know what the count was. He didn't know what the count is. After
Surprised by the walk.
Ball 4, I think he looked up to the scoreboard. See that ball well outside. Watch, does he look up the scoreboard? See?
Yeah.
He didn't know what the count was.
Thought he had a pitch to play with.
He did not know what the count was. Watch his head. He looks at this.
No. He said, yeah, you're right.
He thinks it's ball 3. Yeah.
Now they're loaded for the hottest Pirate, Ronnie Cedeno. Now time is called. Hernandez going to talk to him. Cedeno, 2 more hits last night. He's now hit safely in 15 of his last 17 games. Batting .346 during this stretch. 7 hits in his last 12 at bats with men in scoring position. That's a .583 average. Swing and a miss. His numbers on the year. He has been on base 12 times in 19 plate appearances this trip. And he looks at strike 2. Walker at third base drew a free pass. Lyle Overbay singled, moved to second on the walk to Pedro Alvarez. 0-2 on Cedeno. Hernandez wants it up. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One career granny. Two and 2. Under 200 in the first month. Now nearly 350 in May.
He went to that leg kick, and it has paid off in a big way for him.
We're calling him Sadaharu Cedeno.
When the season started, he was all spread out, flat-footed, no leg kick. Really cut down swing, was just concerned and not striking out, not chasing a bad pitch. And now he has changed to trying to punish the baseball a little bit.
This is a big pitch here. 3 and 2 as Cueto has given the Pirates an opening. He had not given up a run in his first 2 starts since coming off the DL in 14 innings. And he strikes out. Cedeno looking. Two outs.
Now he just guided that last one. Let's look at the whole at bat. See, he got him to chase early on, which is something that Cedeno had been doing basically his whole career. But then he was able to lay off that pitch way up high, didn't chase that ball, and then would not swing at that last breaking pitch. And it looked to me like Cueto really took a lot off that slider to try and guide it over the plate.
McDonald swings and misses at the first pitch, and into center field, going to be caught. A line drive that carried out to Heisey. Bases left loaded. To the bottom of the second, still 0-0. Peavy, his second start since coming off the disabled list, tossed a 3-hit shutout over the Cleveland Indians. Robinson Cano, the go-ahead RBI double in the 15th inning as the Yankees beat the Orioles 4-1. And in the game, Mike Gonzalez was ejected after he hit Chris Dickerson in the head in that 15th inning. Daisuke Matsuzaka has been placed on the disabled list by the Boston Red Sox with a strained ligament in the right elbow.
The White Sox starting to get it together after that dismal start. It would be nice if they get Peavy pitching every 5th day like he's capable of doing.
See if they make a run at the Cleveland Indians. Well, the focus of front page of the sports section of the USA Today and the Reds will be traveling up to Cleveland for an interleague series against the Indians at Progressive Field. Meanwhile, the Pirates head back home and they'll begin interleague play against the Detroit Tigers at PNC Park tomorrow night. Ball one on Jay Bruce. Ball two. Bruce under the weather last night, did not play. Strokes it deep. And gone. Jay Bruce gives the Reds a 1-0 lead with his 9th home run of the season.
A solo shot, and that's kind of the goal I think when you start a game here as a pitcher. There's a ballpark that gives up home runs fairly easily. You just try to make sure that there's nobody on base. We'll take a look at it where it is on the strike zone. Not a bad pitch. Looked like it was down and away. The strike zone presented by Range Resources, and Bruce just went down and got it. Nice piece of hitting.
Eighth home run allowed by James McDonald. Strike on Miguel Cairo. Of the 30 runs that James McDonald has allowed this season, 19 have come via the home run. Cairo, now at the age of 37. 16 seasons in the big leagues, 9 teams. Pops this ball up. Walker goes second baseman for the first out. Fred Lewis played last night for Jay Bruce. Now he's in left field. Drew Stubbs the day off. Johnny Gomes also getting the day off. That note we just mentioned, the 30 runs allowed, 19 from a home run. His start against the Brewers in Milwaukee, where he gave up 5 runs in 4 innings. That came after a very strong performance against Houston. He went 6 innings of 3-hit shutout ball, walked 2, struck out 8 Astros hitters. Check swing roller. 2 down. Each of the Tigers coming to town Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. Sunday's a kids' day at PNC Park. 1:35 start. All youngsters 14 and under in a pierogi beach towel. Kevin Correa likes it. And those beach towels, thanks to Mrs. T's Pierogies. Come early for the Family Fun Zone on Federal Street. Stay after the game. Kids can run the bases, thanks to H.K. Anderson Pretzels. It's all happening on Sunday. Go to Pirates.com. Kids pierogi beach towels to all youngsters 14 and under this Sunday when the Pirates host Jim Leland and the Tigers.
Well, McDonald certainly shrugged off that home run ball. Didn't let it bother him at all. A couple of quick outs. I love that 0-2 pitch to Lewis. Right there on the hands. Ended up getting a check swing on it and a little roller back to the mound. Here is that 0-2 pitch. Look at the location, right on the hand. That ball hit the bat where the color change is. I mean, just a perfect spot.
Popped up on the right side. Walker calls for it. Oh, took forever to come down. Finally did into his glove. Jay Bruce led off the inning with a home run, and then McDonald retired the next 3. Andrew McCutchen will lead things off, and against Johnny Cueto, he has 6 career hits, 3 of them home runs. A couple at PNC Park. McCutchen a career .273 batting average, and again 3 of his 6 hits against Cueto, the home runs. Jay Bruce homered for the 9th time this season to give Cueto this lead. It will be fun to track these 2 players, Jay Bruce and Andrew McCutchen, because of where they were selected in the 2005 draft. The Pirates picked 11th that year, the Reds 12th. The Bucks went for McCutchen. The Reds picked next and selected Jay Bruce.
Both organizations, I think, did a pretty good job with those picks.
Sharply hit, but backhanded by Renteria. One down. McCutchen 0 for 2, flied out on a 3-2 pitch in the first. And he grounds to short to start the 3rd inning. And now Xavier Paul.
Cairo in on the grass again with Paul up.
Paul's first start in 8 days. Oh, and 2. course, always in the back of your mind, you wonder if Cueto on the ropes, kind of searching in the second and getting the strikeout of Cedeno, and then McDonald. Does he find his groove?
The Cedeno strikeout, really the big play there. I mean, one of our hottest hitters. I know he's hitting 8th, and the overall number is not that good, but you saw the splits of what he's been doing lately. And that was a huge out for Cueto to get.
Strikes out Paul. 2 up and 2 down. If you've got a question for Bob, now's the time to ask it. Grab your cell phone, text the keyword booth, followed by your question and your name to 412-412. He just might answer it. We'll ask Bob the question of the night following the 7th inning stretch, or in this case, the question of the day. 412-412. Ask the booth.
You know what might be a wake-up call for Cueto more than anything is when he ends up walking the bases loaded because he didn't know the count.
Yeah.
That might have been a wake-up call. Like, hey, I better get focused and get in gear here.
Should be easy for Renteria. And Jones grounds out quickly. The Bucks go down on 9 pitches after 2.5. Cueto and the Reds lead the Pirates 1-0. Johnny Cueto takes ball 1. Cueto 1 for 5 at the plate. 1-0 Reds. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Cueto had a quick top of the 3rd. See if McDonald can match that. And a bunt. Pirates might have gotten a call there. Cueto very close anyway at first base, but the out recorded.
Showing some pretty good speed going down the line. I think it was close. It looked like McDonald kind of took a little bit of time on this. Watch McDonald. He gets it and takes enough time for a crow hop. A little crow hop, got himself gathered, made it a bang play.
Chris Heisey popped up to shallow right field, dropped in for a hit. One ball, 1 strike. And then he was doubled off. And Andrew McCutcheon made a great play in right center on the Renteria Line drive. Ball and 2 strikes on Heisey, a 17th round pick 5 years ago.
When we were here last month, we were talking to some of the Cincinnati folks up here in the press box. So impressed with Heisey's power potential. And 4 home runs with just 60 at bats so far.
And some have said he's got as much power as anybody in the organization. Out of Little Messiah College, Central Pennsylvania. Popped up to right. Jones calls off Walker. 2 up and 2 down. Follow the Pirates with the MLB.com @Bat11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Get live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @Bat to 31826 or visit Pirates.com for details. On Renteria. Bucks winning last night have taken 4 of the first 5 meetings over the defending National League Central Division champs. They lost 10 of the 16 games played in the season series last year. Up and in, 2-1.
Well, James sure would love to get this 3rd out right now. He's already got over 50 pitches. He needs to start thinking about being efficient, getting quick outs, and this will do it. Good job. Nice inning.
12 pitches. 1, 2, 3 and out. Head to the 4th here in Cincinnati. Neil Walker will lead things off. You're watching it all on Root Sports.
Root Sports is sponsored by Toyota. Buy right the first time and save more. Visit your local Toyota dealer for details. And by AT&T. Let's go Bucks.
Buccos trail 1-0, 4th inning. Neil Walker led off the 2nd with a free pass from Johnny Cueto, who, after walking Alvarez to load the bases, struck out Ronnie Cedeno looking. He has now set down the last 5 in a row. Fouled out of play by Walker. Never forget where you make your major league debut. Walker made his right here on this field. Robbed of a hit by Gold Glover Brandon Phillips. 2 years ago, a September call-up. September the 1st. Looked like a sure hit, but Phillips made a fine play. One ball and 2 strikes. Here's the Pittsburgh kid getting the call up, playing for his hometown team. Family and friends on hand. And no. Robbed of a hit in his big league debut.
That's all right. He hit it well, and he was going to get a lot more hits. He's been his most consistent offensive player this year. You can sure see, Greg, that Renteria has all the confidence in the world in that backhand. He deliberately plays it several times.
Goes around that ball, backhands it.
He played McCutcheon's ball to the backhand, and here again, he's got time to go and get around the other side of it, but he takes the backhand. He knows it puts him in a real good throwing position. That left shoulder closed up. You have to have that confidence in the hands. He's been doing that for so long. I'm sure the confidence is off the charts.
Winding down, a fine career, but 2 gold gloves on his mantle. Edgar Renteria. Now Lyle Overbay. Singled in the second. Renteria won gold gloves back-to-back years with the Cardinals in 2002 and 2003. Colombian native. It's 1-2 on Overbay.
Quite catch up to that elevated fastball. If you watch Hernandez, a lot of times on that fastball with Cueto out there, he'll give the high target. He'll do that on purpose. He wants that ball upstairs.
Two up, 2 down. Check out the trivia question brought to you by AT&T Mobility. You look at Charlie Morton, who tossed the 5-hit shutout last night. Since 1946, what is the Pirates' record for consecutive complete games against one opponent? Morton, back-to-back complete games against the Reds. Now, the last Pirate to do that, Denny Nagel, against the Montreal Expos, the end of 1995, and again the following year, 1996. Complete games and back-to-back starts against one opponent. But what's the record for complete games against an opponent?
I have no idea.
It's 1946. Consecutive complete games against an opponent. I'm going to take a stab at it. It may be a Bob Friend, but maybe, just maybe, this is a Steve Blass. I'm thinking.
Very possible. No, it's not recent.
Is it a Bob Walk?
Oh, absolutely not.
No?
I think maybe I might not have ever done it even once. I mean, it's something that over the last 20 years you just don't hardly see anymore, especially in the National League.
Line drive. Base hit for Doman, who hit a ball to the wall in left field his first time up. At least that breaks the rhythm a bit from Cueto. Let's see what Pedro Alvarez can do.
I would think it's a record that you would see from from the 60s back. You know what I mean, Greg?
Yeah, I hear you.
I believe it's a hi everybody.
Yeah.
But from the the late 60s back to 46, it's got to be somebody in that period there, I think. What was the year that they dropped the mound?
69. Fly ball to left.
I'll say the record's older than 69.
Alvarez flies out. 1-0 Reds.
I think he is locked in, ready to go. Watch this, Greg.
Let's go.
He wants to get up those stairs, get out there, get the ball. I'm ready. Wait a minute. I don't have a hat. Oh, yeah. I need a hat.
Have you ever done anything like that before?
I don't know if I ever went out there and didn't forget something. I told you about the bat thing in Chicago years ago, didn't I?
I forget.
It was real early in my career, rookie, and I wasn't used to hitting, obviously. Didn't hit much in the minor leagues then at all.
McCutcheon.
So they yelled at me saying, "Hey, you're on deck, you're on deck," and I was like all in a panic, and I finding my helmet there, that little dugout in Chicago, Wrigley Field. I found my helmet, jumped up on deck, got the leaded bat, the heavy bat, swinging that, and by the time I picked that up, I was late getting on deck. Now the hitter had already made it out, whoever it was. So I dropped the bat, took 2 or 3 steps toward home plate, and then realized
without a bat.
Yeah, no bat. Turned around. And of course, the Phillies back then, that was all the older veteran guys. They're rolling on the ground laughing because they saw me get up there with no bat. So now they were watching,
hoping.
What's going to happen now when there's an out and he has no bat? That's actually that is where the whirlybird started.
Brandon Phillips lines it to left, all over quickly. Phillips held to a single.
But that and the fact that I went to the bullpen to warm up before a game and had to send somebody back to the clubhouse to get my glove, those two things made the whirlybird thing. I was a little forgetful early on.
Who was it that first called you that?
I think it was Boa.
Was it?
I think it was Larry Boa that dropped that on me when I couldn't think of things that little deals like that.
I know the late Harry Callis loved seeing you every time we would go to Philadelphia or the Phillies would come to Pittsburgh in the press box. He would love to go up and see you. There's Whirlybird.
I'm not even sure that Harry knew my name. It was always Whirly. But that's the only time I'd ever been called that, is my very first rookie year with Philadelphia. And that was the nickname that stuck there. And nobody has ever called me that since. But every time I see anybody that knows me from the Philly days, you know, all those years ago, 30 years ago, first thing that comes out of their mouth.
Jay Bruce, who homered in the second, goes down swinging here in the fourth.
One of those swing and miss type pitches. Got it upstairs, got in the chase a little bit. It's got something on it. The reason you get swings at that upstairs fastball is because he's been able to throw enough of those over-the-top curveballs for strikes. That sets that pitch up. First strikeout, Kurt?
Yep.
Got it in the fourth inning. That's not a real good sign. J-Mac needs to kick that in gear a little bit.
Runner goes from first. Doman guns it to second and nails Brandon Phillips.
Perfect pitch to throw on, up and away. Tell you, this is a perfect pitch for a catcher to throw on. Nice quick tag by Cedeno. See the AGH cam. Oh, it was a very easy play. Just laid that tag down on him.
Doman. 0-1 count on Cedeno. 0-2. Big strikeout. Looking in the second. Bases loaded and 1 out.
Got one of those high fastballs from Cueto. I'm sure he was a little surprised he didn't get an offer from Ronnie. Got an offer on one that time.
Now the AT&T Mobility trivia question and answer. My question again: since 1946, the Pirates' record for consecutive complete games against an opponent. J-Mac foul tips. So Bob, what do you think?
I'm going with Friend. You're going with Blast.
Yep.
Right?
0-2 on McDonald. Lined out to center field to end the second. Cueto quickly takes care of him. Back-to-back Ks. 5 now for Cueto. And the answer is Bob Friend. 9 complete games against the Giants from July 7th, 1956 to September 29th, 1957. Good call, Bob.
Thank you, Greg. I tried to analyze that one a little bit.
Yep. Very nicely done. McCutcheon toward the right center gap. And extra bases. Into second with 2. A 2-out double for McCutcheon.
This is what you love to do when there's a couple outs. Had nobody on base to try and knock in. You want to get yourself in scoring position with a gap shot or find a foul line, one of the two. That high fastball didn't work that time. Belt high. Got the AGH camp shot saw last night of I think it was Janish's bat exploding on a Charlie Morton fastball. Splinters going everywhere.
AGH can provide such remarkable shots. 0-1 on Paul. Bucks look for a big hit from one of the new Pirates. He was claimed off waivers from the Dodgers April the 26th. And a one-hopper off the glove of Phillips. And McCutcheon waved. Here's the throw. Won't get him. 1-1 ball game. Xavier Paul smashes one past Phillips.
A ball that, you know, I think as an infielder, I mean, this ball is hit hard, yes, but yeah. At first I thought maybe he could have got in front of that and knocked it down, but now watching the replay, no. But that ball certainly needs to be cut off. There's no chance ever of throwing McCutcheon out at the plate, especially after you bobble the ball.
Look at McCutcheon.
Well, he's going to score easy on this with his speed. It's not going to be a play, and then for the ball to come all the way to the plate and allow Xavier to get in scoring position also. A bit of a mental mistake there by the Reds.
Chance for Jones to bring home Paul. 1-1 ball game in the 5th.
Single away from taking the lead. But, you know, I could see Bruce thinking another ball was hit hard. I got a shot. But then once he bobbled it, there was no reason to do anything but give the ball to Votto, or maybe just throw it to second base anyway.
Jay Bruce.
Got to know your base runners. McCutcheon, one of the fastest men in the league.
3-1. Cueto gives up his first run of this season, and this is his 3rd big league start. And in his 4 previous starts against the Pirates, coming into this one, he had allowed 1 run. Full count on Garrett Jones. The X-Man makes it 1-1. Just missed a slight flinch from the home plate umpire. Looked like Scott Berry. Ball 4.
It looked like it was on the plate. I don't know, maybe it was low. We'll take a look at it. Check out the strike zone presented by Range Resources. Yeah, it has it as a strike, but I think the umpire called it low. Scott Berry at home plate.
Third walk allowed by Cueto.
Jonesy's got some high knees.
Neil Walker base on balls to lead off the second and ground out to the shortstop Renteria in the fourth. He's 1 for 11 against Cueto. Now Hernandez and his pitcher discuss. Reminder that Neil Walker bobblehead night is coming up on a Saturday, 7:05, game 2 of the 3-game series against the Tigers. All fans get a Neil Walker bobblehead courtesy of Root Sports. It's also an Eaton Park scratch and win Saturday. All fans get a scratch card good for prizes from Eaton Park. Take it from Neil Walker. You're going to want one of these bobbleheads. All fans get one on Saturday night. The Neil Walker bobblehead, the only player bobblehead of the year. It's Pittsburgh's own Neil Walker. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. He will have a busy weekend with kinds of family in town, including brother-in-law Donnie Kelly, who plays for the Tigers. Two 1 count.
In a conversation at the mound a while ago, I think Cueto was concerned that he's had enough people at second base. He wanted to change his signs. That's why Renteria had to get involved to find out what they're going to use.
Falls behind Walker, 3-1, and Cueto showing a little bit of frustration.
Middle infielders, they need to know what pitch is coming. They adjust where they play and adjust their who's going to cover the bag when runners are taken off, depending on what you're going to throw. "91 pitches for Cueto already. He's not going to have a very long afternoon.
Pitcher spot due up 4th in the 5th inning. Now Paul and Jones will take off on this pitch to Neil Walker. Bucks have tied it in the 5th.
Cueto had 2 outs, nobody on. Could have had a nice quick inning.
Fouled off, sharply hit by Walker. Do it again.
And now you get the feeling like momentum has all gone toward the Pirates here, and the way Walker, especially the way he hit that last one, it's like Cueto's just trying to hang on.
I just wondered if
get through this inning, thinking that he'll probably be pinch hit for.
Does he see the end of the line? Another 3-2 pitch to center field. Back is Heisey. Warning track. And off the wall. This will score a pair. Walker doubles off the center field fence to give the Buccos a 3-1 lead in the 5th.
And there's that crooked number. These are the kind of innings that win ball games.
Walker's 23rd and 24th runs batted in.
All this damage coming. 2 outs, nobody on. Quick little backdoor slider.
Paul and Jones score easily on the double by Neil Walker. This inning started with back-to-back strikeouts of Cedeno and McDonald, and then McCutchen wrapped one into the right center field alley for a double. Xavier Paul followed with a base hit off the glove of Brandon Phillips. The Jones walk and the Walker double.
Takes the team lead in doubles from McCutchen now, not doubles but RBIs.
Overbay flies out to center. Pirates strike for 3 through 4.5. Bucks now lead by 2 here on Root Sports. We'll be watching the careers of Jay Bruce and Andrew McCutchen as they are matched up here in this series. Former first-round picks in 2005. Bruce homered in the second off James McDonald, and McCutchen doubles to start the rally here in the 5th. And I'll see what J-Mac does with a lead. Strike on Cairo. Another strike.
And this is the most important inning for a starting pitcher. Once they do put that crooked number up there for you, you got that lead, you got to go out there and be aggressive and throw some strikes. Get the guys back into the bat rack as soon as possible. Keep that momentum on your side.
Breaking ball pounded foul.
That's the way that McDonald has started this inning. One right after him, got 0-2. What you want to do?
Jordan Smith loosens in the bullpen. Cairo reaches out and drops it into right field for a hit.
That might have got a little bit too much of the strike zone. Let's take a look at the strike zone, brought to you by Range Resources. No, I didn't get any of it. That was about 4 inches outside.
The AGH cam shows Cairo reaching out of the zone. Fred Lewis, check swing comebacker to the mound in the second. Giant Fred Lewis, 30-year-old out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Spent last year with the Blue Jays. And a strike, 0-2.
You sure can't fault the way McDonald is going at him here after getting that lead. 0-2 to Cairo, now 0-2 to Lewis. You want to do.
A 1-2 count.
And that's a nice pitch there. 0-2, go upstairs. See if he'll chase. It's kind of what he did to Cairo. He went out way outside, see if he'd get a chase. He did, but Cairo good enough just to kind of slap it the other way. A little bit of luck involved in getting a hit like that. McDonald going for the strikeout on that pitch. That's a good hammer there. Not always an easy pitch to block, that hard curveball that bounces way out there. But Domer got both knees in the dirt. Took it right in the middle of the chest. Good job.
.69 pitches thrown by McDonald.
Which really is not that bad considering how he kind of got it elevated there right when the game started.
I consider he threw 88 pitches in just 4 innings his last start.
Yeah, if he could get out of this inning and be in the mid-80s, it's not too bad. You're still in shape to go 6 for sure, maybe 7. See those last couple of pitches right at the very top of the strike zone. There's another one upstairs a little swing. Let's do the safe zone.
Now ahead 0-2. McDonald has fallen behind 3-2.
I think you really could see the difference right there between the ground ball, sinker ball type pitcher and James. You know, Charlie in that situation would have just kept pounding the strike zone downstairs, try to get that double play ball, where McDonald, he tried to go for strikeout pitches.
Ball grounded with the runner going, no chance at second.
So then he gets to a full count. They start the runner. He finally gets a ground ball, but he loses the opportunity at a double play because he was full count.
IPB, Inside Pirates Baseball, highlighting 10 great Pirates catches. See where your favorite grab ranks and join conversation on Facebook.com/RootSportsPit. Do that today after the Pirates postgame on Root Sports. Will he be up there? He's already made a great catch today. Seems like about every game you'll see one or more from Andrew McCutchen. And the thing about McCutchen, that we said almost from day one, he's not one of those players that goes for the great diving catch unnecessarily. He had to dive on that ball hit in the first inning. But so many of those highlights you'll see on the national shows, to me anyway, it seems like half of them are unnecessary dives. Look at this play.
Yeah, that was either not going to catch it or you're going to have to lay out. Andrew is not about show. He's all go.
Two and one the count. Johnny Gomes comes out on deck. Now McDonald falls behind 3-1 on Ramon Hernandez. Will turn 35 years old tomorrow. We've got the 35-year-old Hernandez, 37-year-old Miguel Cairo standing at second. Starting shortstop is 35-year-old Edgar Renteria. Now on Hernandez. Here's Edgar Renteria.
Got to sprinkle some old guys in, right?
Scott Rowland gets the day off. Rowland now 36 years old. Strikeout of Hernandez, second K.
See where this last pitch was. Right on the outside corner.
Johnny Gomes bats for Cueto. Cueto goes 5 innings.
Not much of a batting average at this point of the year, but he is showing some pop in that bat. 7 long balls.
See, 0 for 5 as a pinch hitter, was 0 for 3 as a starter last night. 7 home runs, 19 RBIs on the year. As a team, the Reds are hitting .345 off the bench. Best pinch hitting team in the league. Phillies are second. Team batting average off the bench of .288.
I've always thought, Greg, ideally you would like to have older players on your bench. It's not always possible, but because those guys kind of have a feel for what they have to do in order to stay ready and be there when their name is called. For young guys, first couple years in the big leagues, they're used to being every single day players all through their minor league career. And now they got to learn how to come off the bench. It's not that easy.
One and two, that might go along with the veteran players that we just mentioned. Cairo not a starter every day. Renteria doesn't start every game. Gomes strikes out looking. McDonald takes care of that pinch hitter. Leadoff hit and a ground out and back-to-back Ks for J-Mac. 3-1 Pirates. Five innings, still in the ball game, giving up the 1 run on 4 hits. Johnny Cueto out of the game. 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts through 94 pitches.
And McDonald getting a couple of strikeouts just last inning. It's getting a little bit better as the game has gone along. That last pitch, a little 94-mile-an-hour paint on the corner. He is fired up about it. He knows he's got the lead. He's got it going. Ray Serrage and J-Mac going over a few things with the clipboard, talking about probably a certain at bat that either went well or didn't. Ray's trying to point it out.
Domit against the reliever Jordan Smith. Domit flied to the wall the other way his first time up, single to right his last at bat. Jordan Smith from American Fork, Utah. 6th round pick 5 years ago by the Reds. 6'4", 230 pounds. Two and one on Domit. Alvarez next. Two and two.
Domit had to take a walk after that swing and a miss. Pulled pretty badly on it. Stayed with that off-speed pitch a little bit better that time. Denser raring to get his shot.
Fastball misses, and now the count full on Domit.
Domit's a good example, Greg, don't you think of it? Not worrying about what might happen, but just dealing with what's going on right now. He was as sure as everybody else was he was going to be traded.
He drives one the other way, deep and gone.
Wow.
Oppo for Dewey.
Now that's the kind of home runs we see in this ballpark. Looked like a fly ball off the bat, and it just would not come down. Got in that front row.
Fourth home run for Ryan Domit, and the Pirates lead 4-1.
Opposite field. Where was the pitch out that he hit out? Oh, look at that. That's usually not a home run ball the other way.
Ball carrying and out. And now Alvarez hits this ball the other way. Lewis. Ryan Domit's home run, fourth of the season.
Look at the location. A good sinker. Not only drive it out of here, he got down underneath it.
Lewis runs out of room.
There's home runs that go, 425 feet, real impressive. That one didn't travel that far, but it's still pretty impressive that it got out of the ballpark, looking at the type of pitch and the location.
.361 feet, the estimated distance on the home run. Cedeno pops it to center.
Watch Domit's home run again, right where the pitch is, and the movement of the pitch too. I mean, there was some pretty good sink going on with that ball. Right down at the knees, outside half of the plate. Good sinker, and it's a home run.
That's what Jordan Smith is thinking as he looked toward that left field wall. Well, McDonald bats.
One of the keys to victory is once you do get that crooked number up on the board, then you just add one here and there the rest of the way out. We'll get a lead, sit on it.
And up the middle, James McDonald. A two-out single to center. J-Mac 1 for 3, lined out to center field his first at bat. And now it's Andrew McCutchen coming to the plate. Check out our Barrel Automotive League leaders. RBIs on the road in the National League. Here are the leaders: Lance Berkman, Matt Holliday of the Cardinals, and then Andrew McCutchen tied with Aubrey Huff of the Giants and Ryan Ludwig of the Padres. Barrel Automotive definitely worth the click. McCutchen at the 5th inning started with his double to the gap in right center.
When you see McCutchen hitting the ball hard to right center field, I think that's when you know he's got his good swing going. Now and then he'll get a little pull happy, and you see him hitting some balls hard, but a lot of them are foul, a lot of them are maybe just right down the third baseline, and that's when you see, I think, the inconsistencies from game to game. But if he's driving the ball at least once a game to right center field, you know that he's getting pretty locked in. That's the one, I think, flaw he has, is he will get that upper body rotation going a little too quick and start getting pull happy.
Two count on McCutchen in just his 2nd full season in the majors. McDonald will take off on this pitch. McCutchen has drawn 21 walks, 2nd on the club behind Jose Tabata. 22 free passes for Tabata. Add another to McCutchen's total. Jose Arredondo loosens now in the Cincinnati bullpen. Xavier Paul had a very large base hit with 2 outs following the McCutchen double. Smashed it past Brandon Phillips.
If Phillips catches that ball, turns it into an out. Cueto's probably still in the game.
Jordan Smith is going to be out of the game.
Not only did we get 3 runs, think how many pitches that he had to throw extra that inning. Why he's gone.
Dusty Baker will pull Jordan Smith. Call on another reliever. Pirates are leading 4-1. From the Harrisburg area. Thanks for rooting on your Pittsburgh Pirates. All of us at Root Sports and the Buccos appreciate your support. Let's go, Bucks. Hello to all the great folks in Central PA. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. capital.
Spent a lot of time in that area, didn't you?
I did. Grew up just across the river, Susquehanna. We were watching the Pirates. Probably watching Chris Heisey. Also a Central Pennsylvania product. Great Pirate fans in Harrisburg. Do you remember, Bob, were you playing when the Pirates played an exhibition game in Harrisburg? When they had just become the AA affiliate? Professional baseball just returned to Harrisburg. Back in the, I guess it was probably mid-'80s.
Yeah, I played right field.
You will never forget that, on City Island.
Played right field the ninth inning.
Now, did you lobby for that, or did Leland just go?
Oh, no, I lobbied heavily for that.
Well, that's a moment that I think a lot of veteran baseball fans in Central Pennsylvania will never forget. Pro baseball coming to Harrisburg. It was the AA affiliate of the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the Bucks played an exhibition game there. Jose Arredondo started the disabled list on the disabled list this year, coming back from Tommy John surgery.
I think that's the field too that they play the high school state championship every year.
Yep. Harrisburg is now the AA affiliate of the Washington Nationals. Still 1-2 on Xavier Paul. Two aboard, two out. Ryan Domet led off this inning with a homer. Donald at second, McCutcheon at first. Arredondo missed all of last year after undergoing Tommy John ligament replacement surgery, and he strikes out Xavier Paul to end the top of the sixth. But Ryan Domet, opposite field home run, his fourth of the season, extends the Pirates lead to 4-1. Tomorrow, Pirates take on the Tigers 7:05. Free Shirt Friday. All fans get a Pirates t-shirt compliments of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Ross Ollendorf likes it. You will too. All fans get one tomorrow. Come out early. Festivities begin on Federal Street before the game with the Barrel Kia Block Party. Enjoy live music and festivities during that block party. Go to Pirates.com/Free Shirt Friday. First of three with Jim Leland's Tigers. J. Mack, Ryan Domet. Good combination so far. The defensive side. McDonald has allowed the 1 run on 4 hits. Of course, Doman has 2 of the 7 Pirates hits, helping his battery mate. The leadoff home run in the top of the 6th. McDonald trying to get his record to 3-3.
Back to Doman being an example of not worrying about what might happen. Going into spring training, I'm sure he thought, where am I going to be this year? And he didn't dwell on that. He kept his chin up and just worked hard to get ready for the season. And now he is here. He's still a Pirate, seeing some serious playing time, being a big contributor.
Strikeout of Heisey.
He is certainly turning on the strikeouts here.
3 straight for McDonald.
What was it, the 4th inning before he got his first strikeout?
He struck out 4 of the last 6 men he's faced.
Getting a lot of swings and misses now on the fastball.
Take a look at the ATH cam. The strikeout of Chris Heisey. Bob, to what do you attribute that all of a sudden? Because it's not like all of a sudden the velocity just increased. What is that with a strikeout pitch?
Well, I would like to think that the hitters had to make a little adjustment because he was throwing both the changeup and the curveball for strikes enough to where they have to get off the heater. And when that happens, that makes that one that's elevated a little bit to just, belt high a little higher, a little harder to catch up to. What the pitchers call that is, or used to years ago, is slowing down the bat. You throw your off-speed stuff for strikes, you slow down their bats.
Renteria is the 2nd out of this inning.
And the other side of that coin, you're successful throwing hard stuff in. That speeds up their bats, and that makes it easier to throw off-speed pitches that they won't hit.
Another benefit to throwing inside.
And it's all about breaking down the hitter's timing. I think Warren Spahn, I believe, first to say that was what pitching was all about, was destroying the hitter's timing. Get them caught in the middle, a little behind, a little ahead.
The reigning most valuable player at the plate.
And you see the percentages. He's really had done good work with that fastball today. 3/4 of them have been heaters.
Overbay takes that and throws to McDonald. A 10-pitch inning. He seems to be getting stronger. J-Mac and the Pirates lead through 6 here in Cincinnati, 4-1.
On Root Sports is sponsored by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks.
And this day in Pittsburgh Pirates history brought to you by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Jim Bibby gave up a leadoff single to Terry Harper in 1981 at Three Rivers Stadium, then went on to retire 27 straight in a 5-0 Pirates win. Bibby, by the way, also had 2 doubles, an RBI, and a run scored. Thank you, Day Automotive. This day in Pirates history, an unforgettable moment in baseball history when Jim Bibby gave up that leadoff base hit to Terry Harper against the Atlanta Braves. Bob Walk was on that team. Do you remember that night?
No, I was sitting there trying to remember why I didn't remember that. That one's been erased somehow.
Oh, you're probably concentrating on your next start, which was 2 days later, by the way.
I must have copied over that part of the disc.
2-1 count on Garrett Jones. It was unforgettable for Pirates fans, but again, you were playing for the Braves that night. You probably, and the rest of the Braves, wanted to forget that night.
I'm wanting to forget that season.
Phil Niekro pitched that night against Bibby. The Braves lineup of Terry Harper, Claudell Washington, Biff Pocoroba, Chris Chambliss, Dale Murphy, Glenn Hubbard, Bruce Benedict, Rafael Ramirez.
Biff and Bruce in the same game.
Yeah. Biff played third base. Bruce caught. 2-2 on Garrett Jones. Walked his last time. And Arredondo strikes out the Bucco right fielder.
Ball moving down and away. Jonesy trying to pull it right over the top of it. Needed to put the Domic swing on that one.
Walker driving one to right center field, and that's a gap shot. Neil Walker doubled in a pair of runs in the 5th inning with a double off the center field fence, and now splits Heisey and Bruce in the right center gap. A 1-out double for Walker.
Kind of likes this place, I think. Home of his debut. A high fastball. He jumped all over it. Add on another one. Just a 3-run lead. I don't think Joel might not be rooting for that. Joel Hanrahan was thinking about picking up a save. If we get any bigger lead, then that'll move the save as a possibility. As long as the score would be to stay that way into the 9th.
Hope you got a chance to see Joel Hanrahan on our pregame show.
A solid opening to his season.
Yeah, Hanrahan said I was his guest. I should thank him
for having you on his show.
Having me on his show. At the end, he said, Bobby said, the world is yours. It's kind of his feeling. Bounce to first, deep first. Overbay is retired. Walker to third. 2 down. 2 outs for Domic.
I think to be a good closer, you got to have a little bit of that attitude. Go out there and pitch with a ton of confidence, and of course have the thick skin to let a bad game not bother you at all. Because you probably have to be right back out there in 24 hours. At least you hope you are.
Going 3 solid at bats. Remember his first AB against Cueto. He sent Fred Lewis back to the wall and left. Singled over Votto's head, his second AB, and last time up, the opposite field home run. monitor that. Right center, Bruce. That's the catch. Going to be keeping it here for the 7th inning stretch, as we always do here on Road Sports. And here's what I'm talking about, Joel Hanrahan, that tease earlier.
And Greg Brown's going to be my guest on the Pirates pregame show. The world is yours.
Take it from Joel. As we stand and enjoy the 7th inning stretch. Take me out to the ball game here in Cincinnati. The sun is shining.
The Machine Room, honoring the Big Red Machine, and one of those members has a spot in the Hall of Fame Museum. It's the new exhibit here for Johnny Bench. Now, one of the most interesting things I found out was that he actually wore number 53. In 1966, his manager Don Hefner was wearing number 5, so he was assigned 53 in spring training. But Hefner was released the next year, and Johnny Bench wore number 5 for his 17-year Hall of Fame career here for the Reds, which they retired in 1984. Great exhibit, though, just really interesting to walk around and see.
Well, thank you, Lacey. It really is. It's a neat, we walk around anywhere around this ballpark, and of course next door to the Reds Hall of Fame. And yeah, part of the Big Red Machine of the 70s. No question, the Hall of Famer Johnny Bench.
The Cincinnati Reds don't take a backseat to anybody when it comes to, you know, being a historical franchise. I mean, they have so much great history as a National League icon. I mean, they have been one of the big clubs in this league for just about ever. And the years of that Big Red Machine might be their proudest years. Not only Johnny Bench, but just a lineup up and down, loaded with legendary players. They were quite a ball club back then. Legendary manager and Sparky Anderson running the whole show. Well, you know, back then in the old lumber company days, they had to have some shootouts, didn't they?
They absolutely did. There's a fly ball to right. Foul off the bat of Brandon Phillips. Pirates and the Reds have battled, it seemed like every year in the decade of the 70s. Of course, they played in the National League Championship Series against each other in 3 of the first 5 years of that decade, in 1970, 72, and 75. The Pirates and Reds met in the National League Championship Series again in 1979. And most recently, 1990. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count on Brandon Phillips. He's flied out and single. McDonald approaches the 100 pitch mark. Probably his last inning. He's due up 3rd in the 8th. Like to finish on a high note. Phillips, Bruce, then Cairo against him. They have 3 of the 4 hits combined.
As you said earlier, it's like he's getting stronger every inning he goes out there.
His start here in April was not good against these Reds. Let's turn that around today. to left by Phillips. And going for second. Paul has a good arm, and he's going to get him. The veteran Brandon Phillips, a no-no. Xavier Paul guns him out.
Paul, I think it should be pretty well known. He's got the best arm in our outfield. He can certainly throw. You're down by 3 runs. That can't be happening.
Well, you know what's interesting about this, Bob? I was wondering why Phillips conceded a single in the 4th inning when his club was ahead 1-0 with 1 out. He had a ball that was more toward the line and just kind of trotted to first. Line drive base hit for Bruce. He's 2 for 3. Another look. As Bob said, Xavier Paul, best arm of the outfielders for the Pirates.
Got over there in good shape. He easily cut it off before it got to even the warning track. And it's not even close. He's out by a ton. He tries the trick slide, everything he can. Walker got right down there with him.
Xavier Paul guns to Walker. Brandon Phillips with his team down 4-1 in the 7th is thrown out at second.
That's what you do, though, when somebody makes a mistake. You have to take advantage of it. Paul did.
To right. 2 outs. Brandon Phillips, his 2nd hit of the game.
Well, and nowhere could you fault him for not running hard right there. He really came out of the box going as hard as he could. But once he turned first base and saw that the ball had been cut off and the throw was coming in, he had to put the brakes on.
Now Fred Lewis with a base hit to center field. Pirates have 2 men loosening the pen. The lefty Beimel, the righty McCutchen.
A couple base running moves may have had pretty decent effect on this game. Remember, it was Heisey in the 1st inning. Assumed a ball in the outfield wouldn't be caught with nobody out and was off to the races off of first base and was almost all the way to 3rd before he realized that McCutchen had caught the ball. It was an easy double play.
Herta will make a double switch here. He asked Domet to go out and buy the bullpen some time. That is going to be it for James McDonald with 2 on and 2 outs in the 7th inning. He'll call on Daniel McCutchen. Bucks up 4-1. See if McCutchen can get this last out of the 7th. What players in the minors may contribute later this summer? That's from Matt. Thanks, Matt, for that question. Bob, what do you think?
Well, Greg, that's always a very tough, one to come up with, to be able to look and see who might be hot, who might be able to come up later and help, and what are you going to need? Recently we've been seeing some real good stuff from Lincoln. If we needed a starting pitcher right now at this moment, I think, he'd be able to step in and do a good job. Early in the year, I think Presley got off to a great start offensively. I hadn't seen what he's been doing lately, but there's a couple of guys off the top of my head that might get a chance to see.
See Tabata now in left. Xavier Paul moves to right. Daniel McCutcheon takes over, facing Ramon Hernandez. Clint Hurdle said the other day that Daniel McCutcheon has earned the right to pitch later in ball games. He had been the long man, but he has pitched so well in short stints that now he moves up the pecking order in that bullpen, which will get a big boost likely on Tuesday if all goes well. Evan Meek will return.
Yeah, with Evan, when he was here not being himself, and then of course being put on the disabled list, that really made some question marks as to when people were going to pitch in that bullpen. And so it's kind of evolved a little without Meek being that absolute go-to 8th inning guy. It's changed things around a couple of times in the pen.
Well, one thing for sure about Clint Hurdle, said it time and time again, he does not manage by the quote book, doesn't believe one exists. Admittedly, he'll shoot from the hip with a gut feeling.
He's not afraid to make changes.
And he will make changes in the batting order, in that bullpen. He has said before, it's not about me being right, it's about getting it right for my players. Tapper. McCutcheon thought about jumping forward. Instead, he'll let Walker get the out at first. And Daniel McCutcheon comes on to get that third out. It is 4-1 Pirates through 7. Beautiful shots from the AGH cam as the Pirates take this 4-1 lead into the 8th inning. We were talking about some players that might help down the road. Well, down the long road, Jameson Taillon pitched again last night, the Pirates' first rounder last year. And Jameson Taillon now in 5 starts, 19 innings, 19 hits, 3 walks, 18 strikeouts. The hottest player at AAA is Chase Darno in 8 games, an 8-game hitting streak, batting .533. And as Bob mentioned, Brad Lincoln, another win last night. Lincoln, his last 4 starts, is 4-0 with a 1.80 ERA. So a few players to watch in the minors. Now, Pedro Alvarez bats against new pitcher Nick Massett. Massett comes on for the 23rd time. Alvarez a walk and 2 flyouts to left. Bucks would like to add on, leading 4-1. Trying to end this road trip with a series sweep, albeit 2 games. Get back on that winning track and improved to 5-1 against the Reds this season. Alvarez and the Pirates will see veteran Brad Penny on the hill tomorrow night at PNC Park. He's now a member of the Detroit Tigers staff. Jeff Karstens goes for the Bucks.
It's so important, Greg, for this Pirate team to make strides in their record in the division this year.
That is so true. That's the big step, really. Make strides in that division record. It was just abysmal last season. Ball bounced foul. The Pirates were 31-48 against the National Extension Division last year. 10-5 against the Cubs. A losing record against everybody else: Cincinnati, Houston, Milwaukee, and St. Louis.
Never be serious about playing for any type of postseason berth unless you handle your own division. That's got to be a big goal for the Pirates.
A look at the road ahead, sponsored by Nissan. Our upcoming Pittsburgh Pirates telecasts on Root Sports tomorrow night. 6:30 airtime for the Pirates and Tigers at PNC Park. Radio only game on Saturday night. And back on Root Sports on Sunday. And then the Braves come in for a 2-game series Tuesday night and Wednesday afternoon. 5-game homestand. Alvarez walks to start the 8th.
Pitching staff right now coming into this ballpark against this team and just shutting them down. They've given up 1 run.
Tabata maybe, or with Tabata on deck, maybe when Hurdle wanted Cedeno to bunt. There's Ray Searage. A big part of this pitching staff turnaround for the first couple of months of the season. Staff earned run average 382. You're talking about a team that had an ERA of 5 at the end of last season. Two and 1 on Cedeno. Figures to be bunting again, as Nick Leyva called time when Cedeno apparently missed a sign.
No, Clint definitely, Greg, is a fan of the sacrifice bunt.
No doubt.
He has used it a ton this year to try and set up run scoring opportunities. Wants to add a little insurance on here.
Three and 1 the count on Cedeno.
I don't think he's bunting here. Still is.
Throw towards second base and safe, as Renteria could not hang on to the throw from Massett.
After being 1, he might let him swing, but he still put it down. But it close enough to the mound that Massett, well, he did have an out there. It was going to be in time. Just dropped it.
give him a sacrifice fielder's choice. Renteria clearly drops the throw.
For a moment. A bit of a snow cone. So now I'm guessing bunt again.
We're talking about playing against the division. The Pirates have to improve. Last year, 6-10 against the Reds. This year, a chance to go 5-1 through 6 games. They're 4-1 so far against Cincinnati. Still 9 games to play against the Reds. All of them will be at PNC Park. They're finished with the season series here in Cincinnati.
And the way these games have been going, it's not going to be 9 games they look forward to.
Well, they changed the call to a fielder's choice E1. Tabata was showing bunt. Takes snap throw towards second. Alvarez back.
It's a tough error, I think. I get Bassett.
Yeah.
He tries to pick off Alvarez.
Not sure what else Bassett could have done. Tabata pops up the bunt. And fouls out to Hernandez. So again, the official score rules an error on the pitcher. See what you think.
Yeah, look at this again. And this is not all that easy of a play. Gets off, quick throw. I mean, it wasn't chest high right on the bag, but still it hits in Renteria's glove. And Renteria drops it. And the pitcher gets the error. And they don't have to give an error to anybody. Just make it a fielder's choice. Sacrifice. In a way, Bassett doesn't mind because if the run scores, it's unearned.
Bounced off the glove of Cairo into left. Run will score. Alvarez trots in. Another hit for McCutchen. Another double. And the Bucks take a 5-1 lead in the 8th.
Another one of those add-on runs.
2 double day for McCutchen as Alvarez crosses the plate.
It's 2 balls today that were just able to elude gloves that ended up playing big. There was one to Phillips that Xavier hit earlier.
Xavier now at the plate with the infield in. And a chance to put this game away with a hit. Hard hit ball off Brandon Phillips' glove in the 5th. That tied the game at 1. And he and Garrett Jones would score on a Neil Walker double. 3 spot in the 5th. Ryan Doman homered in the 6th. And the Pirates add another here in the 8th and look for more. Cairo, Renteria, Phillips, Votto all in. One and 2 on Paul.
These are the situations players just absolutely love to be at the plate in. Less than 2 outs, infield in. 2nd and 3rd. Great opportunities.
Two count. Diaz will bat for Daniel McCutchen, at least for now. could change. What a nice pickup Xavier Paul has been for this Bucko club. Off waivers from the Dodgers. Came at the perfect time.
It gives them that option of setting McCutcheon and having a true center fielder, somebody can go out there and play. They don't have to move Tabata around. It's something that they really wanted going into the season. And Paul gives them that.
Bassett is able to strike him out. Frustrating for Paul because he had those 2 ribbies available, at least one anyway, that infield in.
Yeah, an opportunity really to get to because the infield's in. It's much easier to get a base hit. And couldn't get one put in play. Over the top of a pretty good curveball.
Diaz bats here in the 8th. Before he does, Brian Price, the pitching coach, will go out over a scouting report with Nick Massett. 26,018 the paid attendance.
They might be talking a little bit, Greg, about make sure you go after Diaz. Walker's on deck. He's been hot today. Don't want him hitting with the bases loaded. Well, if you have to throw a strike to one of them, pick Diaz. That's the guy you want to pitch aggressively to.
Nick Massett from St. Petersburg, Florida. In his 4th season with the Reds. Faces the pinch hitter Diaz. Off the end of the bat. Just eludes Votto, but the second baseman Phillips is there, and Diaz is retired. Diaz comes up limping a bit. 5-1, Pirates lead it. Good news. Bad news is Matt Diaz. Watch him here as he runs down toward first on this ground ball.
Looked like he had kind of held his quad, maybe.
Yeah. He'll head down and then go right in through the runway. Assistant trainer Mike Sandoval escorts him down toward the clubhouse and slams that helmet. That's well, of course, he's frustrated he didn't deliver a hit, but it did look like maybe a quad injury. We'll have to wait and see how serious that is. Clint Hurdle calls on Jose Veras here in the 8th inning. Drew Stubbs bats for Massett. Stubbs was 1 for 4 last night. Harris last pitched on Saturday, and you can see that rest has done him good in terms of that arm. First 2 pitches strong, 94-95. He has made 5 straight scoreless appearances.
Really, the thing that jumps off the page at you this year with him is his strikeout numbers. Been fantastic.
Two and two.
Oh, he's throwing the ball pretty hard. He's hammering that down in the away corner. Where they all are.
And Stubbs offers no, says the first base umpire on the appeal, Sam Holbrook. What does the AGH camp say?
Watch the head of the bat. How far does it go? I'm going to call that a swing.
Yep.
But I don't count.
Cedeno retires Stubbs.
Another ball right on the outside corner. Stubbs tries to pull it, puts it on the ground.
Cedeno has done a nice job. Talked about how hot he's been offensively, but quietly. He's had a very strong month or so with the glove as well. A nice string of 27 straight errorless games, not including today. Chris Heisey, 1 out of 3. Mike Leyva, third base coach and infield instructor, said he has challenged Ronnie Cedeno. He'll be out there every day, every inning, every pitch. It's been a knock on Cedeno over the years. '96, 2-0 the count. Cedeno really has stepped up his game over the past month.
Kind of a thin position right now around baseball, especially in our league, that shortstop. One of the most important positions on your team.
A 4-pitch walk to Heisey. Brings up, speaking of shortstop, Renteria. Interesting how, as the years go on, the different waves of the ebb and flow of certain positions, and how that shortstop position has changed. The catching position certainly has changed over the years.
Especially if you look over a long time. If you go back in the 70s, the shortstop position was all about defense.
70s, you think of guys like Mark Belanger, Dave Concepcion here in Cincinnati,
Larry Bowa in Philadelphia.
13 number of Dave Concepcion. Latin players, Venezuelans, wore that with great pride and honor. And then, Bob, I guess the shortstop position kind of changed into the 80s. What Cal Ripken maybe represented the big change, the big,
strong, you know, extra base hitter, home run hitter, but could still play that athletic shortstop. It definitely changed the way people looked at it. Of course, you had A-Rod come along.
Here in Cincinnati, Barry Larkin.
Yeah, he was an offensive force, not necessarily a big home run hitter, but still somebody that was expected to be in the middle of things all the time on offense. But all positions are like that. They get strong and then they fade away for a while.
Offensive swing there. Renteria just gets a piece.
You see the same thing over the years with pitching. Pitching will dominate for a few years, and then the pendulum will swing back, and they have some offensive years, and you know, it'll go back and forth like that. And this year, at least the way it started out, it looks like pitching all around baseball is starting to come up a little bit. We'll have to see if that continues into the heat of the summer. But right now, pitchers are trying to win back some ground.
Strikeout for Veras, 2 outs in the 8th.
The wave and a miss of that curveball. That's been where Veras has picked up an awful lot of his strikeouts this year. That he'd set it up with the hard fastball and get the no contact on that curveball, and he's been so good, put it in the right spot all the time, as he did there.
Joey Votto comes to the plate, so Clint Hurdle calls on the lefty, Joe Beimel. We'll be back. In the 8th inning, left on left. Beimel's numbers. Votto has been pretty consistent against both lefties and righties. Again, the reigning MVP. Today has walked, flied to center, and grounded out. Those 3 appearances against James McDonald. Check swing, Las Diaz. Nope.
Joe will change his style around a little bit as far as the way he pitches against right-handers and lefties. He doesn't throw the gravity ball so much to left-hand hitters. Mid-80 sinker.
Ball just gets away from Domet. Should be a pass ball. Moving the runner up 90 feet.
And they'll throw more four-seam fastballs like this one to the left-handers.
Lefties hitting $150 against Beimel this season, 3 out of 20. Votto is batting .441 against left-handed pitching. Well, that's toward the gap in right center. Joey Votto, an RBI single. Makes it 5-2. The run charged Taveras.
Take a look, see where the pitch was. Breaking ball they just left inside. Well, he wants to get that breaking pitch at least to the outside half the plate, if not off the plate with Votto. And that was just a location that he didn't want to be in. Down and in.
Votto now 16 hits and 35 at bats against left-handed pitching. 25th RBI of the year. Brandon Phillips at the plate. The Reds have been the comeback kids again this season. 13 come from behind victories, second in the major leagues only to the Colorado Rockies, who have come from behind 15 times. Last year the Reds were tied with the Braves for second most in the majors and come from behind victories with 45, behind only the Yankees. Tap to the right. Walker retires the Reds second baseman. And we will go to the ninth. The Buccos leading at 5-2. And now Brandon Phillips slow.
Tigers, that's right, it's interleague time, and before the game, Clint Hurdle spoke about the chance to play a team from the other league.
The challenge you have is there's no do-overs. It's a pop test in school is what it is. You get a short look, your scouts are out doing it, you get your video, you get 3 games and you're gone. They're gone, poof. Very rarely do you get to play them again. So that's a challenge, and I've been in some years where we've not done well in interleague, and then I've been through a couple years where we did extremely well in interleague.
The headlining theme will be Jim Leyland coming back to Pittsburgh, a former manager. Clint Hurdle actually had the opportunity to coach under him in '99 with the Rockies, and I know, Greg, you were talking to him earlier about that this series.
It should be interesting, Lacey, as Clint Hurdle talked about that chance. Not real long, although Hurdle believes that that Columbine incident had a lot to do with Leyland leaving the Colorado Rockies. shortly after taking that managerial job. Talked about what he learned from Leland. He talks to Ronnie Cedeno. We've talked about the type of manager Hurdle is, and I think he's a mix of Leland and Tanner. If you talk about former Pirate managers over the last 40 years or so. Having some fun with Ronnie Cedeno and Hurdle. Hoping that the Pirates' record in interleague play will improve, because the Pirates have the worst record in baseball in interleague play. They're 6-6 all time against Detroit at PNC Park.
Now, Greg, I agree with you about that mix. There's traits of both of them that you see. You know, he definitely is his own man. You can't say that he is a copy of anybody. He does things the way he wants to, and that's that. He's very out front with the players. He likes to mess around with them. I think that was a lot of what endeared the players to Jim Leland. And then he always has that very positive attitude about, hey, you know, today's another day where everything's fine. Let's go get them. And that's what I think we saw from Jim Leland. Or excuse me, Chuck Tanner.
Here's a look at the probables. Brad Penny tomorrow night against Jeff Karstens. Max Scherzer is 6-0. Goes up against Kevin Correa Saturday night. And Sunday afternoon, Paul Mahalam for the Bucks against Rick Porcello. Bill Bray, the left-hander, on here in the ninth. Gets Neil Walker to line out to center. Overbay 1 for 4. James McDonald in line to get the win. Johnny Cueto would be tagged with the loss. It's a 3-run lead, so it is a save situation at the moment. Another thing Hurdle has talked about this year is the different milestones along the way to gauge the improvement. One being the road record. That's vastly improved from last year. Heck, a win today for the Bucks would give them 13 road wins this season after winning 17 total last year. Early on, check that one off your list in terms of improvement. The pitching staff certainly has improved. But this will be a big test this weekend. How they match up against the American League.
Well, I think that improved pitching is going to show itself in interleague play this year. That's one of the big concerns that I always have, especially in the other team's ballpark, because their offense usually has that advantage. They have a DH that is usually a fairly high salaried player, a big part of their offense, and you got to figure out a way to try and control that. Well, control it with better pitching.
Overbay, a strikeout victim. Joel Hanrahan and Daniel Moscas. Look at the upcoming batters. If Hanrahan gets in there, Bruce, Cairo, and Lewis are due up. Hanrahan among the league leaders in saves. It's hard to believe we played in this weather. 2 games, isn't it?
Sun's finally breaking out.
This is reminiscent of Washington.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Whoa.
That's good distance.
The hammer toss. Well beyond the Pirates' third base dugout.
That's the furthest we've had this year, I think. And I think Dolan's just going to let that one lay. He's going back and get another one. It's taking a while to bring the bat out, though.
Souvenir.
Looks like Doman maybe just grabbing Alvarez's. Yeah. Doman just said the heck with it. They got mine, and Alvarez gave him his. Said, here, use this one. Doman doesn't care. He's just, yeah, okay. What difference does it make? You see the ball just or excuse me, the bat come right out of the hands.
Some batters are very, very particular and choosy. In this case, Domet just grabs Alvarez's.
Yeah, so that's fine. They can't find one for me. I'll just use yours. That's going to make it well back.
Of course, the bat he just lost could have been the one that hit this ball over the left field wall as a left-hand hitter. Switch hitters oftentimes use different bats. But Domet's home run the other way was his 4th of the season.
He could have switched bats just then after that foul ball. They did finally find his, but no, just go ahead and use the one I got.
Kind of like the feel of this one here. Wow, another one gone.
I think he got that one out there about 2 feet further.
Las Diaz has fun with it, calling the foul bat.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 go the Bucks. Domet a strikeout victim. And now we will see Joel Hanrahan try and close it out. The Bucks head to the bottom of the 9th, leading 5-2. He says this game will be James McDonald's if he can earn save number 12. Tied for 5th in the league currently with 11 saves and 11 chances. Joel Hanrahan.
The world is yours.
Faces Jay Bruce to start the bottom of the 9th.
Nice 3-run lead, so let's get the maximum cushion. Still get a save. Kind you like.
Clint Hurdle used him in Milwaukee on Sunday just because he hadn't been out there enough, just to get him some work. His last save chance came 10 days ago at PNC Park in a 4-1 win over the Dodgers. He earned a save in that ball game.
Joel's been very consistent with that fastball velocity this year.
In the air to left, pretty deep, top of the back. And gone. Jay Bruce's second home run of the ball game. solo shot the other way.
Why you love to have that cushion so you can be aggressive, go after the hitters, and those kind of things don't mean a whole lot right now. In your mind, you just take it like, hey, the inning's just starting out, and I have a 2-run lead. And Bruce took that pitch off the outside half and drove it out. 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
Cairo 1 for 3. th career multi-homer game for Jay Bruce. 99 miles per hour. An angry Hanrahan. Now leading by 2 and needing 3 outs. Two and 1 on Miguel Cairo. Cedeno backs up on the last hop and throws to first. 1 away.
Cedeno doing a good job reading that ground ball, just like an outfielder would read a fly ball. He wanted the long hop, took a step back, a nice long look at it.
Strike 1. Fred Lewis 1 for 3. Saves leader in the National League is Leo Nunez. In the Marlins, he has 15. Houston Street of the Rockies with 14. Frankie Rodriguez of the Mets earned his 13th save last night. Brian Wilson of the Giants has a dozen. Hanrahan with 11. The other way, Tabata. 2 outs. Nice comeback after the home run, as you were saying, Bob. Shake it off. Just gave up 1. Now my lead is 2.
Doesn't mean anything. Like it didn't even happen.
Now faces Ramon Hernandez.
You know, same thing as if he had a leadoff double instead of a leadoff home run. You still, he's not even out there. Doesn't make any difference. His run is totally meaningless. Don't pay any attention to him. Just go after the hitters. That's why you want that little cushion when you come in. Make use of that lead.
Ball 1 on Hernandez, 0 for 3. Scott Rowland comes out on deck to bat for the pitcher. Rowland is a .455 career hitter against Hanrahan. 5 out of 11. To center field, McCutcheon. And he is there, and you can raise the Jolly Roger this afternoon as the hammer puts it down on the Reds. And the Buccos sweep this brief 2-game series.
Really a nice pitching job by McDonald. It really seemed to get stronger as the game went along, picked up those strikeouts. Somebody will finish it off, and fine play by McCutcheon. He has become quite a center fielder for the Pirates.
Hanrahan reacts to the catch made.
12 for 12. Fear the bones.
Fear the bones. Raise the Jolly Roger. The Bucs sweep the 2-game series. They'll hit the road to head home tomorrow night. First of 3 against the Tigers. Bucs now 13-12 on the road, and they improve their overall record to 20-23. They are 5-1 on the year against the defending National League Central Division champions. Stay tuned. Pirates postgame is coming up next.